Mike, of course, the eve of a new season now. It feels like it's come around quite quickly since the last one ended, as it always seems to, really. But first off, just how much are you and the rest of the coaching staff looking forward to getting competitive things going again now?
Can't wait. Yeah, like you say, it's been a quick turnaround. Pre-season's gone really well. Obviously, we've been integrating the lads into the way we play and creating that culture off the back of the last few seasons we've got here, just building that understanding and identity, which is the new boys have come in and taken to the group, which is important. So I think I can speak for everyone. We can't wait. We're looking forward to it. We know how hard it's going to be, but ultimately, as a new season, it's going to have new challenges, and everyone's ready to embrace that.
Yeah, and you mentioned the pre-season side of things there. Obviously, results have gone pretty well if you're on the most part. Obviously, some people take a bit more stock in the results side of things than others, but how pleasing overall has the kind of pre-season schedule been for you?
We've had loads of different types of challenges. I think that's been important. Obviously, results carry a certain amount of weight in pre-season, but ultimately it's about the process and performances and making sure that we're building and we're adding all the time our understanding, our detail, to make sure that when we get to the first game we are best equipped and prepared. So for me, on the face of it, it's been a really good pre-season with lots of development and learning, and again, just can't wait for the start tomorrow.
Yeah, and you touch on tomorrow, obviously a home start tomorrow, which seems to have been a bit of a rarity over recent years. Usually tend to be on the road first week of the season, but Boreham Wood coming here as well, one of the teams that are generally one of the sides who are always up and around the playoffs, so not too many tougher starts that you could have had. But how are you looking at that one in particular? Obviously it's a bit of a strange one when no one's kicked the ball competitively yet, so there's maybe not as much to kind of look at as you would have later in the season.
Yeah, it's perfect. I don't think there's any easy start. I think every team's going to carry their challenges, but ultimately, for arguably they were incredibly unlucky, not to get to the final last year. And on the face of it, it looks as though they've strengthened in terms of personnel, and they're almost cemented playoffs every year because they've got so much experience. Obviously Luke, and he's been there and he loves the club. You can see that his passion comes over, embodies the club and what they're about, and they've got a real togetherness. So we know how difficult it's going to be, and that's why we embrace it. We embrace the challenge. First game always brings unusual results, but we're just looking at everything we can control and focus on what we're doing.
Yeah, and a couple of extra new faces added into the mix over the last couple of days as well in Billy Chadwick and Luke Hannon, someone who's been around the place before and returning after a stint in the Football League. But how pleasing is it to get those two through the door just before the first game of the season, and what is it that you kind of looked at to bring them in particular?
Well, their pedigree, ultimately. We go into the off-season with a strategy of who and where we want to strengthen. We managed to get some really good business done early, but ultimately we're always in the market. The opportunity to bring two lads like themselves in, speaks for themselves. Obviously, you can never apologise for bringing in good players because it just raises the standard, and that's the natural evolution of any football club, but especially ourselves, where we've come from over the past 4 years. I look at the squad now and it's as healthy as it's ever been. So, therefore, competition for places, there's going to be disappointments, but that's all part of the profession, and we've all got to use them to make ourselves better, and that's what's going to be so exciting about this season.
Yeah, you mentioned the strength of the squad as a whole. Obviously, it means there's going to be some lads who are missing out week to week, who aren't in the squad, aren't involved, which obviously is going to be frustrating for any player. But how difficult is it on the management side to kind of manage those sort of things and try to keep everyone in a bit more of a positive atmosphere? Because obviously, like I mentioned, if you're a player, you're left out of the squad, you're not exactly going to be best pleased about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the hardest part of this job, delivering disappointing news and releasing players, and when lads are doing everything they can to progress, but ultimately they don't get to that level. But for me, everyone's just as important as anyone else, and I really want to make it clear that there is no closed doors. The fact of it's just that progression, and the more I speak to the boys every day about disappointments and frustration and setbacks, and it has to go into their mind as an opportunity for learning and growth, and that will best prepare them for the career ahead. So we've got some incredibly talented players, and ultimately the barometer of where you get in your career is how you deal with setbacks. So it is hard, but it's healthy.
Yeah, and quite a few lads who are still here of previous years, quite a few new boys added into the mix over the course of the summer. So I suppose now, what is it really that you feel like fans can expect from a Gateshead team this season?
Well, I think, since we've come in, the lads and the recruitment we've done, a lot of it is on the personality, based on high intensity, and it's just kept evolving. So one thing that these boys give is everything they've got, and there's going to be mistakes made. The way we play, they have to play with bravery and courage, but every single lad is doing everything they can for the best possible outcome for Gateshead Football Club. So the fans are the most important people of any football club. The more we can encourage them to come back and build the crowds, it's going to obviously give us that opportunity to keep growing on and off the field. But yeah, like I say, they're going to, for me, you can expect exciting moments, nail-biting moments, but ultimately you've just got an honest group of lads that are all fighting and all doing everything they can for this football club.